Welcome to Abilene, Texas, and welcome to Southland Conference basketball on ESPN+. This place is hopping. It's the game of the night in mid-major hoops. Two teams that have won a combined 20 straight games, SFA, the Lumberjacks, and the Abilene Christian Wildcats. Well, here's a look at the standings as we hit the final week of the season. SFA has clinched the regular season title and the number 1 seed in the tournament. ACU, however, still fighting for that number 2 seed with Nichols. ACU will clinch it with a win tonight and a win on Saturday. The top 2 spots get a double bye in the upcoming tournament. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a raucous Moody Coliseum. Zach Carlisle alongside Owen Simpson. Glad to have you with us. This is going to be some kind of game, the game of the night in the league. Maybe a matchup of what we'll see in a week's time in Katy, Texas.
Yeah, these really are the 2 best teams in the Southland Conference. Both these teams have surpassed expectations that were set at the beginning of the season. Should be a fun matchup.
Looking forward to it. We got a lot of talent on the floor. Let's take a look at our impact players in tonight's game. And for SFA, Kevon Harris may be the player of the league in the Southland, and Peyton Ricks is the best player for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Kevon Harris is arguably one of the best scorers, too, in the Southland Conference. He has just 2 games this year where he's been held under 10 points. His ability to score inside the paint, is going to be important tonight. Meanwhile, on the other side, Peyton Ricks has continued to catch fire from beyond the arc this season. Ricks is a one-of-a-kind player that can really take control of a game.
Well, I can't wait for this matchup. This place is hopping and ready to go. Let's take a look at the starting lineups in tonight's game. And for SFA, Kevon Harris, there he is. John Como, the point guard. Rody Ware, Gavin Kemsmill, and Nathan Bain made that big shot against Duke in November. For Abilene Christian, a switch to the lineup. It is senior day for the Wildcats. So Reggie Miller, Peyton Ricks, Trey Lennox, and Hayden Howell, and Clay Gaiman inside. We've been building to this game for a long time. SFA at 26-3. Abilene Christians won 7 in a row. Glad you're with us on ESPN+, and off we go from Abilene, Texas. And ACU wins the tip. And a different starting look with their seniors on the floor. What a start for the redshirt senior, Hayden Howell. Ricks, Howell, and Lennox, the 3 seniors for the Wildcats. Here's Stephen F. Austin and this incredible Lumberjack program. It's clinched the regular season championship this year in the league, and bodying his way inside is Gavin Kemsmill. Skip pass, Trey Lennox. Off to Peyton Ricks, who hit his 200th career 3-pointer on Saturday. Gaiman no good inside. Gets it back. Tough fadeaway.
And the big man muscling up inside. Good offensive rebound, good take.
Backdoor cut, it's Ware with contact but couldn't finish. Rody Ware, the junior from Mississippi. Very good scorer. Gaiman almost got the roll, and he's going to shoot 2.
And SFA has really been on an incredible stretch recently, and this is a really big reason why. Kyle Keller now in his 4th season as the head coach for Stephen F. Austin.
Yeah, 86-41 in his time, and he's been, everywhere he goes, a winner. Was an assistant for a long time. He's been an assistant at Kansas, at Oklahoma State, Texas A&M. Here's Clay Gaiman at the line. It's a one-of-a-kind program at SFA coming to Abilene, Texas tonight.
And you mentioned they're on a 13-game winning streak, really an incredible feat, but they haven't really played a top 4 conference opponent since February 4th against Nichols. I'd like to see how they respond to what could be their opponent in the Southland Conference Championship.
Yeah, that was a 6-point win against the Nichols Colonels, who sit at 3rd place right now in the league. Abilene Christian off to the 6-2 start. This is a rematch of a game that took place in late January in Nacogdoches. Kevon Harris, now the lob in, and that is Daniels who gets it back and converts. And that's been the 2 baskets have come on putbacks. Miller had it stripped out of bounds. It goes, and For Abilene Christian, there is their head guy in Joe Golding, the ninth-year head coach of ACU. This team won 27 times a year ago, and they're a win away from another 20-win campaign.
And both these coaches really have honors to come away with the Southland Coach of the Year. For Coach Golding, he had a completely new system. 5 of the 6 top leading scorers gone from last season.
Ricks from way out there. Gaiman trying to get a rebound. He hits the deck, and Kevon Harris comes away with it. Como stripped, and they're going to call a foul first. It was Gaiman who came in to get the strip. And the foul actually is on Hayden Howell on the backside of that play. Off and running, and these two teams match up pretty well. They're both defensive oriented, and both teams can really turn the other one over. These are number 1 and number 2 in the country in turnovers forced on the season.
And they really do have a similar system they like to go by. It's force it inside, and then later extend shooting from deep out beyond the arc. That's the system for both these teams. Like to see what happens.
Kevon Harris with a 3, the first triple tonight. And Harris, the senior from Ellenwood, Georgia, has a strong case for the player of the year in this league. Gaiman, another touch. He's been the focal point so far. Turns in a tough challenge with Charlie Daniels inside. Gaiman to the paint, and that is an and one. Clay Gaiman to the hoop.
And a strong take inside at the top of the key. Takes and tries to set his feet. 50-50 call there, but a great take inside.
Trying to take that charge was Bain. And Clay Gaiman a chance at a three-point play, and subs are in for Abilene Christian, including the 7-footer Colton Cole. And the freshman Arion Simmons getting ready to check in as well. Bain leaves the game for SFA. And Gaiman rattles out the free throw. Calvin Solomon, the freshman number 13 in the contest. He's got the ball and he's blocked at a foul on Colton Cole. Much to the dislike of the Moody Coliseum crowd tonight.
And SFA has really done a great job recently at being able to score offensively. Last game, they took down Lamar 95-76. That's the most points they've scored in the 2020 year. And it was the second consecutive game where they've scored over 90 points.
Yeah, they put up 90 against Northwestern State. Both of those back in Nacogdoches at home. Went on the road, took apart UIW. I mean, the list goes on and on. The lone conference loss is to Texas A&M Corpus Christi on January 8th, and that's the last time this team has suffered a loss. Solomon a chance to tie the game. And Corian Mason getting the rebound. He's in the ball game for ACU. Damian Daniels, the point guard. Arion Simmons, a freshman out of Arkansas, with a strong take, and he converts.
SFA's going to push it now.
Como, the senior point guard from Beaumont, Texas, so good at commanding what this team needs to do offensively. Harris kicks. Como can hit a 3. He hit 3 of them against Abilene Christian on January 29th. Misses this time. They'll bounce it in. It's inside out so far. Ricks catch and shoot. No good. Simmons for that offensive rebound. And he'll try to go inside. Could not convert. Boy, these two teams in the paint defensively are as good as it gets. Harris hit a 3 earlier. He'll take another. weave offense for Abilene Christian, a team that's averaging about 76 per game. It's up a lot lately. The team's figuring out ways to score. Cole stripped and a foul on Charlie Daniels. It's a back and forth start. What a night this will be in Abilene, Texas, 10-7 early. Fun start to this one, 10-7, Abilene Christian in front. And I think this is going to be back and forth a lot. We've seen some substitutions. We've seen a lot of players on the floor already, and we've seen a lot of inside plays so far. Colton Cole's at the line for ACU.
I think a big key piece going forward is how both teams are going to protect the ball. No turnovers yet for either team in the first 5 minutes.
Oh, we've already seen 4 misses at the free throw line tonight for both of these teams. ACU's 2 of 4. This is the first trip for the 7-footer Colton Cole, the junior from San Angelo, Texas. He's given his team a 4-point lead. David Cackleree's running point for the Lumberjacks. Samaja Hart out on the floor as well. He's got it here. Into the paint they go with Bain. And now the kick for the 3. Offline from Cameron Johnson, but Bain the offensive rebound. And Cole got a piece of that. On Johnson inside.
Good job by the big man doing his work, staying inside, staying at bay for the block. He's been a big piece over the past few weeks.
Did it without fouling.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
And that's tough for a 7-footer.
Daniels got a piece of that from Cacklerees. 5 to shoot, and Cole sends it to the other county. Just 3 to shoot for SFA.
Why not another one?
Wow.
He's shaking his head. Not this time, not this time.
SFA's got 3 seconds to shoot, and now this looks like a warning of sorts given to SFA. Back to the block. Now 2 seconds, Cacklerees has to launch a 3, and that possession went nowhere for the Lumberjacks.
A big possession here for the Wildcats to further extend that lead.
It was a delay of game warning charged to SFA. Prior to that 3-pointer at the shot clock buzzer. 10 to shoot. Corey on Mason stripped. It's Bain in transition with a flush. That looked eerily similar to his steal at Cameron Indoor back in November to win the game against Duke. It's Cole leaning in, and he's got one with an and one.
Both teams trading blows early here in the first half. One slam for SFA, And the big man inside, the 7-footer with contact.
Wow. Samaja Hart had no chance. Charged with the foul. Cole, 3-point play. He's had a couple of good possessions here for ACU. Backdoor cut, and Bain wasn't looking for it from Hart. Simmons with the steal for Abilene Christian. Daniels hit 3 threes Saturday.
Big mismatch inside with Cole.
And they got it to him again. He's having fun. That big fella is living on the hammer.
He's stepping up when he needs to. A big mismatch. Good job by Rick seeing it. And another one. And there's going to be more needed from Colton Cole moving forward. We're not sure if we're going to see the typical starter, Joe Pleasant. And take a look one more time. Again, another obvious mismatch inside for Colton Cole. Wide open, hands up. Two-handed slam.
That was some kind of pass from Peyton Ricks to find him. And Cole, oh my goodness. I mean, he's got 6 points so far to lead all scorers, and he's been winning at both ends of the floor as he takes a breather on the bench.
And for the Lumberjacks, there needs to be more communication on defense. They've given up 16 points in under 7 minutes. Something has to change.
So Hayden Howell returns to the lineup for Abilene Christian. John Como back out on the floor after a couple of turnovers from Samaja Hart. A 7-point advantage for the ACU Wildcats. Harris hits his second three, and that's a big one. And he's the man they turn to when they need a basket.
And they're really going to need him going forward in the deficit they are. Defense producing offense, that's what SFA needs right now.
Lennox nearly had it stolen by Harris. 15 to shoot for Abilene Christian. Lennox catch and shoot three, missed everything. And can SFA run tonight? That's what they're going to be their plan. Johnson had it denied, but there was a foul first. And Clay Gaiman's checking on the cheerleaders to make sure they're all right. Well, we've seen some high-flying action so far.
And a good job to avoid the and one there with the block. There's already a whistle, might as well avoid the bucket.
And they got the foul on Corian Mason, not on the game and block. And Johnson to the line for a pair. Gavin Kinsmill back in the lineup for the Jacks.
And if I'm Stephen F. Austin, I'm really fortunate to be in only a 3-point deficit, shooting 36% from the field. Meanwhile, the Wildcats 55 early here in this one.
Free throws have been issues for both sides so far. SFA 1 of 4 rather, and ACU 4 of 6. Gaiman backdoor, he will shoot 2. There's been some quality passing so far. These guards are finding ways to get slashers open to the hoop.
And both teams on defense are making the offense pay when they drive inside. There's always contact, trying to push them outside, but both teams getting to the line early.
So here's Clay Gaiman, who has been in the lineup as a sophomore, and he has started for ACU each of the last 9 games, and he's had double-digit performances in 8 of those 9 since he's been in the starting 5. They made a switch about a month or so ago, did Abilene Christian, to their starting lineup. Joe Golding said it sparked this team in ways that he didn't think it would offensively, and they've maintained their defensive efficiency as well. In a 5-point game, here's Como. Johnson open. Not so much. sends us to a timeout, and Colton Coles had a dunk fest for Abilene Christian, and his Wildcats lead by 5. The 2020 Southland Conference Basketball Tournament presented by Hercules Tires takes place March 11th through the 15th at the Leonard E. Merrill Center in Katy, Texas, just outside of Houston. Should be a fun week down there. We are 8 days out from the start of the madness portion of March for the Southland Conference. In particular, should be a good time next week. 18-13 Abilene Christian in front. Zach Carlisle, Owen Simpson, glad to have you with us for Southland Conference basketball on ESPN+. What a start in Abilene it's been. And Hayden Howell went up and got guys in the air, and there's a foul, and the foul is on Nathan Bain of SFA, and it's his second of the night.
That's a big foul for Bain, especially given how he's been playing defensively for the Lumberjacks. He'll take a seat early in the first half. The big momentum swing now for Abilene Christian, a big advantage out on the court.
And it's been the inside play that's been the focal point for ACU so far. ACU 0 for 3 from the three-point line. SFA's hit 2 of them so far. Reggie Miller, the starting point guard, a junior from Houston. First-year Wildcat, a transfer, got it back somehow and scored. That ball's loose now. It's a steal. And Miller is half out of bounds and half hanging out with the fans, and the ball goes out of bounds. It hit off the official, and it will be SFA basketball.
You don't see that every day.
Well, Miller had to steal, and then he kind of lost the ball and tried to save it. It hit off the official's back, it appeared. Wildcats with a 7-point lead as they clear off the floor. This is one of those games where guys are going to go after every loose ball. Guys are going to go after every foul inside and try to draw a foul. It's just going to be one of those types of games in a great atmosphere like this.
And that's why turnovers are going to be such a big part of tonight's game.
Here's a drive from Ware. Tough shot. Got it off the window. Rody Ware, the junior from Mississippi, transfer from East Central Community College, first-year Lumberjack. Gaiman somehow caught that pass, but could not finish inside. A very athletic, talented SFA team. Here's Kimsmill, no good. Solomon will shoot 2 on the putback. And SFA's done a good job on the offensive glass, 6 of them so far. So here's the freshman Calvin Solomon out of Houston.
And he's struggled at the free throw line this season. Hasn't got there a lot, but shooting 17 for 43, just a little bit under 40%.
He may have to play some fairly big minutes with Nathan Bain on the bench with 2 fouls. Him and Gavin Kimsmo could be out there for a little while. Solomon. SFA's 1 of 5 to start the night from the line. And a full-blown change for Abilene Christian. Almost a fresh new lineup for the Wildcats. Free throw troubles continue.
5 missed free throws, 5-point deficit.
Pass tapped out of bounds by Kevon Harris. And Charlie Daniels, a junior from Jacksonville, Florida, returns to the lineup. Another transfer, Indian River State College. Some talented newcomers on both sides of the floor tonight. Both of these teams. Harris going to try to run off the Colton Cole miss, and they give it right back to ACU. Simmons got it in transition.
Good job by the big man fighting through contact. Every point seems hard to come by here in the first half.
Como trying to draw a foul, and he will. And back to the area on Simmons' layup.
And there's the points off steals. Turnovers are going to be a big key in this game and a fast break score. Good job by Simmons.
He's got good bend and good moves for a big man. Just a freshman out of Little Rock, Arkansas.
Just over 240 pounds.
He's got some ability, though, to move and get up and down the floor. He's a very athletic freshman for ACU.
And I have to apologize. I did him an insult. 260 pounds.
There you
at
go.
6'5".
It's Como at the line for 2.
Didn't do him justice exactly.
He is fun to watch, no doubt, for Abilene Christian. Provided a spark. Coach Golding saying his acrobatic play on Saturday against Central Arkansas really sparked the team. As Clay Gaiman checks in for Colton Cole. Smaller lineup for both sides now. As Daniels takes a seat and Solomon returns to the lineup.
And this team for the Wildcats really has to rely on Peyton Ricks to succeed down this stretch. Last time against SFA, he had just 6 points on 2 of 4 shooting.
Daniels corner 3, no good. And Simmons taps it out. Daniels misses a second time. Como draws defenders and lays it in. Tough take from a 5'11 senior. Mason, I think, was throwing that up for a shot. Could not get it. And now Ware. Back and forth we go. Team's trying to get some ground in terms of running a transition. Here's Harris. Charge. Corian Mason takes the charge for Abilene Christian. Here's the charge.
Good job by Mason. When you extend that elbow, they're going to call it more than they won't.
Harris takes a seat for SFA, first foul of the night. SFA led 7-6, but it's been all Abilene Christian since. Daniels pass tapped away. And now Johnson is fouled, and I wonder if it's prior to him going up or if it will be 2 free throws. Mason got 2 Johnson, and it will be 2 free throws coming for Cameron Johnson.
He took a little bit of a beating there on the fast break. But again, we've seen this time and time again. It's been a beatdown early in the first half.
Physical game, as expected. These are two very good defensive teams, two very physical teams inside. They've lived up to the bill so far. And Johnson rattles out a free throw. And boy, this has been some kind of problem for SFA so far tonight at the stripe. This is a Stephen F. Austin team that leads the league in free throw percentage at 70% as a team. And they can't buy one right now.
3 for 10 from the charity stripe.
Whoa. The game remains a 3-point difference and a double dribble on Damian Daniels, who is going to leave the game after 2 consecutive turnovers. Brings Reggie Miller back into the lineup. Johnson falling down. Inside they go. And it goes off the hands of Gavin Kimsmill. Boy, Abilene Christian swarming to Kimsmill as soon as he was ready to catch that basketball.
Both teams really starting to pick up defensively. Big possession here for the Wildcats.
4-out set. Trying to get guys open for a shot. Here's Tobias Cameron. Gaiman, and there's a guy hanging on the rim, and that's an and one. Whoa, baby. That was insane. You had a dunk defensively, and Clay Gaiman's gonna shoot when we come back. Look at all the guys hanging up and down on the floor. This has been some kind of game. Boy, this has been a wild start to this game in Moody Coliseum. Abilene Christian leading for the majority of this first half. And again, it's been inside play for the Wildcats.
And they've been leading without a three-point make. They're 0 for 5 to start this game. That's something they really rely on as a key factor on offense, is both inside and outside. But they've been deciding to muscle their way through inside the paint, and it's paid dividend.
Clay Gaiman a chance at a three-point play. First one to double figures tonight. He's got 11 points to lead all scorers. Stephen F. Austin shooting 39% from the floor with 5 turnovers in the first half. There's a combined 49 turnovers last time these two teams played. Harris, another 3. No. Solomon, a second chance. Ware circling around And Arion Simmons pulls down the rebound. A foul off the ball. And it's on Solomon, who's been very active off the bench in this first half for SFA, both on the positive and negative side. And for Solomon, it's his first foul.
I like to see if they start cutting down more on the pushing and shoving inside the paint. I've seen it on both sides. And really now, that was the first call off ball inside the paint.
And this is the last of the bonus free throws for ACU. It'll be double the rest of the way. So this is a 1-and-1, and it turns into a second one for Gaiman.
And that's a big advantage for a team that's shooting 80% from the line.
They stay red hot at the stripe as Corian Mason returns to the Abilene Christian lineup. Well, you know, there's a narrative to maybe be told, and I think folks are wondering, what does this game mean to Stephen F. Austin with their 2 games left in the regular season? And what it means is that they keep going and stay on this pace going into the tournament and win the tournament. Their seed could be pretty good. Right now, a projected 13 seed.
And meanwhile, for the Wildcats, this game means everything if they want a chance at a double bye.
Here's Simmons. A steal and a dunk. Timeout SFA. This place is going crazy. Defense to offense for Abilene Christian. It's the staple of this team, and Simmons has been at the middle of it all.
And Simmons is one of the best defensive players on this Wildcat team. He did a lot of action on defense in the last game Saturday for the Wildcats. Does it right there. The big man taking it out of the hands and the two-handed slam on the other side.
I thought maybe it would turn into a jump ball, and he just said, give me that. And that was some kind of play. Coach Joe Golding saying about halfway through the year, he stopped being a freshman. I mean, that's some kind of praise for the 19-year-old. Takes it right from Kevon Harris.
And he really doesn't play like a freshman. He has truly developed into a key piece for this Wildcat team.
It's a 7-0 run for Abilene Christian. SFA in a 2-minute, 41-second scoring drought. Trying to solve the riddle that is this Abilene Christian defense.
And a smart 30-second timeout there, though, by Kyle Keller to get this team reorganized. And they're double-digit down at the moment. And right there, taking it inside for Stephen F. Austin, just like that.
Even Kemsmo gets an answer in the paint. Abilene Christian 0 of 5 from the three-point line. Peyton Ricks a big part of that. Scoreless so far. Gaiman has not been scoreless so far, and he took some contact, no good. Now Como wants to try to run. And now he's open. And Harris with a putback and one. Some kind of play by Kevon Harris.
Did you see how high he got up?
As athletic as it gets.
Despite the defense being well in the way. Good shot fake there, though. So the miss off the three-pointer, and with Peyton Ricks right there, the and one opportunity.
A special talented Kevon Harris, the senior, 4th in the Southland Conference this year in scoring. 17.5 per game.
And the Lumberjacks have played their best basketball after their 2 30-second timeouts so far in the first half. They've come out more calm and composed, and it just seems like they get things done a little bit better offensively.
5-point game. It's Hayden Howell inside. A spin, and he got it back from Solomon. Offline. A second chance for Abilene Christian. There's bodies all over the place, and Mason hits the first 3 of the night for Abilene Christian.
They needed that big response.
Como to Solomon, and a good response again from SFA. Continuing to pound it in the paint. Howell again, the redshirt senior, had to sit out all of a year ago. Missed that 2019 NCAA tournament run for Abilene Christian, winners of the Southland Conference tournament. 6 to shoot for Arion Simmons. He's got 8 so far in the half, the freshman.
Gaiman and Simmons, big pieces inside the paint for the Wildcats here in the first half.
Como trying to set it up for the Lumberjacks. Harris, open. 2 of 5 from distance is Kevon Harris. It's Ricks. Howell. And that ball loose, and SFA's got it. Lumberjacks score 81 points a game. Not on that pace so far tonight. Daniels, he couldn't get it. Solomon could not. Daniels the putback. SFA living at the rim on both ends of the floor.
An offensive rebound number 9 for Stephen F. Austin, a big piece while they're still in this game.
And a foul takes us to a timeout. What a wild first half it's been in Abilene, Texas. Arion Simmons, he's been big so far. Back in Abilene, Texas, and there is the folks behind the scenes making this thing happen to the studio here at ACU TV. They're in control. Hutton Harris, Glenn Lasoya leading this incredibly run student production here at Abilene, Texas. They've done a great job all year. They're the ones that make this thing possible all season long. SFA and ACU on a very fun first half of action here at Moody Coliseum tonight. Peyton Ricks is in the scoring column for the first time for Abilene Christian. Hits a pair of free throws. And the lead is 8 for ACU at home. They've looked good this first half.
And a lot of it has been protecting the ball on offense and being a force inside on defense whenever SFA crashes inside the paint. They need to continue it on, though, throughout the game.
Abilene Christian turned it over 27 times in the loss to SFA in January. There is a foul inside, and boy, Kimsmill's working hard in the paint to try to get back to the charity stripe, and he does here. 27 turnovers for ACU in the loss on January 29th. Just 4 so far. They've really taken care of the ball, to your point.
And they really have. And now the problem for Stephen F. Austin is to make free throws. They have struggled from the charity stripe, 4 for 11, leaving points off the scoreboard.
There's one. Finally goes down, breaks a stretch of 4 consecutive misses. Trey Lennox into the lineup for Abilene Christian. 10 Wildcats have played tonight. 10 Lumberjacks have seen the floor. Two teams with a lot of depth, and they play so incredibly hard. And that's what they want from their teams. Both coaches telling me, and I almost heard identical things, saying we're going to have them play hard for 3 to 4 minutes, and then we're going to pull them out, and the next person's going to come in and do the exact same thing.
And they're trying to find the best pieces on the court that fit the team at the moment. It's a puzzle.
Ricks, corner 3, and now a run out for Harris. A chance here and a run in transition with David Cacklerees. A junior from Pennsylvania into the scoring column tonight. Ricks puts Harris on the deck. Gaiman pumps, hits. Inside, Howell reaches through and fouls Kinsmill. The Gaiman 3.
And that's what I was talking about earlier in this game. The Wildcats have relied on taking it inside, but sooner or later they're going to have to shoot outside the perimeter if they want to maintain this lead before halftime.
They've hit 2 of their last 4 from downtown. Hayden Howell with the foul leaves the game, 2 of them tonight, and Arion Simmons back in for the Wildcats. We mentioned it, SFA led 7-6, and that's been it so far in the half. Kinsmill cuts it to 6.
And despite Abilene Christian leading for really majority of this first half, it hasn't felt like it's all Abilene Christian. The Lumberjacks have done a really good job at containing their deficit. At one point it was 10 points. They called a 30-second timeout. They cut it back to 4. Same thing happened. They were back down 9 or 10 points, called a 30-second timeout, and it's just been back and forth for both these teams.
Kinsmill with 2 big free throws as Solomon returns to the lineup. And you know, I tell you what, don't think SFA's ever going to get phased on the road. When you're this type of program in the Southland Conference and you've been as good as they've been, 5 tournament titles, 5 NCAA tournaments. I mean, when you're this type of program, everywhere you go is that school's biggest game. And it's the same exact situation tonight in Abilene, Texas. They're used to this. Simmons inside. Simmons charge taken by John Como.
Good defensive stop there from the Lumberjacks, and now another chance to cut it down to a 1-possession game. They really need a score on this possession. Get more momentum going on their side before the break. Look at the inside take. Arion Simmons with the double team, and that'll happen. You lower the shoulder, take charge by the elbow. It'll be an offensive foul.
That's the 5'11" guy winning the battle against a 6'5" forward. Harris switched with Gaiman. Ricks typically on him. Ricks, Coach Golden calls his Abilene Christian's best defender. Inside, loose ball. Simmons got a piece of it, and Ricks comes up with it. Gaiman again. A lot of touches in this first half for Clay Gaiman.
Good patience. Not a good shot.
Lennox with a rebound. It didn't touch the rim. Daniels to Simmons in the corner. No good. And a foul on Gaiman going over the back with 57 seconds to go until halftime. It's free throws for the Lumberjacks.
And good passing, though, there on the offensive possession for Abilene Christian. Shot just didn't fall for Clay Gaiman. He does a really good job outside the paint, looking around, trying to find some hole to go through or where to pass, but he seemed to force that shot there and put them in the situation they were.
And again, it's Solomon at the line. And that one goes down. He's now 1 for 5 from the stripe tonight, and that one worked extra hard to go in the hoop. Back and forth battle between 2 heavyweights in the Southland Conference. SFA 13 straight wins. Abilene Christian 7 in a row. The two hottest teams in the league, and many argue the two best, although the Nichols Colonels have something to say about that. And then you never know what can happen in Katy, Texas at the Southland Conference Tournament, which starts in 8 days. 10 to shoot for ACU. 5 for Ricks. And that ball is loose, and that is a shot clock violation as Ricks tried to go in and draw a foul and was unable to do so.
They have done a great job containing Ricks throughout the entirety of the first half. Not a single field goal, 0 for 3. They did the same thing the last time they played him. He had just a few points. But again, that's a big part of why the Lumberjacks are close in this game, is they've been able to contain their superstar.
Yeah, SFA worked their way back to lead at halftime in Nacogdoches. They led by 1 point, ended up winning by 10. Their largest lead got to 11 in the second half. But Peyton Ricks, to your point, only had 6 points in that game, 2 at halftime. But his team leads by 4, and SFA can hold for the 1 shot to close the half. Kimsmill's got 8 to lead SFA. Harris with 7 points. Johnson's got it. 4 seconds, and a 3 from Cackle-Rees is no good. And this is good if it counts, and it's short from Simmons. And that takes us to halftime. Abilene Christian leads by 4 points over SFA. The big game of the night on ESPN+.
He provides a place for people to come to learn and to grow and to also be a big part of what's going on at ACU.
To work at ACU TV is probably the best experience you will get in a college setting.
Being able to do it for football games like out here is like, for game days experience, it was awesome. Being able to see your shots and then being able to look back at it and saying like, wow, that was my shot, it was awesome.
It looks amazing in here, and I know Neil Santana spent so much time redesigning it, and he did an amazing job and really truly made it look like a news station would.
Getting to work with Grant, talking with the coaches regularly, this has just really given me a lot of experience moving into the real world.
The work on the floor, getting to teach people, and then also getting to be right there with the basketball players. I couldn't compare it to anything I had done before.
Watching all the clubs at Sing Song get their awards and just being so excited was such a rewarding thing to see, because we were able to help contribute to that. It was just an incredible experience overall.
To see my work broadcasted nationally is so incredible.
And the pressure of filming on a live broadcast for people to see around the world is it's a different feeling than just a regular game filming for the screen.
It's just perfect experience for the real world. You're going to be in a control room. Somebody's going to be giving commands, telling you to switch over to this camera or to put this graphic up there. You know, you got to realize this. I wouldn't be doing this anywhere else. I think ACU provides me this blessing of an opportunity.
The ability for ACU TV to be so flexible and cover literally every section of campus is amazing.
We're here for the campus. We're here to better the community and show that ACU has a lot of great things going on.
It helps us become more of a community and cultivates support for our athletes, for our students who are succeeding and doing TEDx and Sing Song. And it's one of the biggest benefits I see as a student is just that ACU TV really does an incredible job bringing us all together as a campus.
Halftime in Abilene, Texas. A great game here at Moody Coliseum, 39-35, ACU on top. Well, ACU TV, our own Emily Schaefer had a chance to sit down with Wildcats sophomore Clay Gaiman. His role has really changed from year 1 to year 2 with the Wildcats. Gaiman, he's been red hot for ACU. He's shooting over 59%.
The thing with ACU is the people here are pretty genuine. I think this place is like a big high school to me. You know, a lot of people, everybody knows everybody. You see somewhat the same people every day. It's not like a big school to where you're not seeing the same people and you completely see new faces. You build real relationships with the people you're here with. And the smaller class sizes allow for kids to get to know each other really well.
Now Gaiman, who's got the first 5 for ACU.
I know you come from a very, very athletic family. Were you always expected to play a sport in college?
My family really couldn't afford college, so any chance I had was to get an athletic scholarship. I mean, if I didn't get a scholarship anywhere, then I'd be working right now. So it was never expected, but it was something that I've always wanted to do personally, just as a personal achievement to put under my belt.
This is your sophomore year here on campus. What kind of things did you learn, kind of like a trial run your freshman year, not only playing basketball, but also just as a college student in general?
It hit me like a wall, like a truck. Just like Coach Golding said, it's a lot of ups and downs. Freshman year is a roller coaster ride, and I think that's true for every freshman, even some sophomores. There's a lot of ups, a lot of downs. You can't let your highs get too high, your lows get too low. It definitely hit me. Living by myself, no one telling me when to go to bed, when to do my homework, when to stop playing video games. It was definitely a life switch. It's something that hit me hard.
One of your goals is to play professionally overseas. So how would you say that your coaches here at ACU are preparing you for that?
I think the way that they're preparing me is to not worry about it at this point. They're just telling me to take it one day at a time, get better every day, you know, be better today than you were yesterday. And at the end of the day, I'm just going to learn. I'm just going to trust them. And I think that they'll take the right courses of action for me, because I think that they have my personal interests at heart at the end of the day. So right now, I'm not worried about it. I'm going to cross that bridge when it comes in a couple of years. But right now, I'm just going to be a sophomore at ACU.
Definitely during warm-ups, everyone sees that you are a dunker and you enjoy dunking. Who do you think is the best dunker on the team?
The best dunker on the team is Emmanuel Allen, no doubt. The people's champ, the kid, he's got a 45-inch vertical. You know, it's like he's flying through the air. It's crazy to me. He's got like 2K bounce. You know, every time he dunks, it's like a 2K animation. Dude's crazy.
Would anyone say that you're the best dunker?
No, I'm still the basic white guy that sits on the side and occasionally dunks every once in a while on one of those.
And what are you looking forward to your junior and senior year to come?
Junior and senior year is just keep winning. Keep on the track that we've been on for the past 2 years. You know, we're carrying the torch this year that was passed on from last year. Guys like Jaron Lewis, Jalen Franklin, Hayden Farquhar, you know, big role models for us guys on the team. You know, they taught us how to work. They taught us how to bust our butts every day at practice. And that's what we're doing. We're taking it one day at a time, continue to win ball games.
Clay Gaiman's role has changed, and he has been a superstar this year. 16 points at halftime for ACU. Wildcats lead him, more halftime coming up. 39-35, a very entertaining first half. Abilene Christian in front by 4 over SFA. The halftime report as we welcome you courtside, everybody. Zach Carlisle and Owen Simpson. Well, it's lived up to the bill so far, a 4-point lead for ACU, and it's been high flying up and down the floor. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been a lot about defense for both these teams. That was the emphasis going into this game, but some players have been able to stretch out the defense and attack inside. I think that's been a key for both these teams in the first half.
Well, let's take a look at the first half numbers, and the numbers speak to exactly, they're almost identical between ACU and SFA. I mean, look at this, 12 out of 30, 13 out of 30. They line up very evenly in just a 4-point game.
And near the end of the first half, we saw more defense than offense. Both teams without a field goal over the last 2.5 minutes before we came to break. I'd like to see how both these teams come out in the second half. SFA has done an incredible job this season winning close games down the stretch.
Yeah, they get everyone's best shot. They're getting ACU's best shot from Clay Gaiman in the first half. How special has this sophomore been?
And he's leading both teams in scoring. The only player on the court today so far in double figures in points, and he is just well over that. 16 points, 4 of 8 shooting, 7 for 8 from the free throw line. He's been able to take some punishment inside the paint and pay it off inside in a big defensive effort as well.
Yeah, he started the last 10 games. He has scored in double figures 9 of those times this year. His career high is 21. He's already got 16 at halftime here. ACU did not score over the final 2 minutes of the first half, but Gaiman was a big part of it, and they may need him again in the second half.
And I think they're also going to need to really spread the ball out on offense. For SFA, they've done a great job for point production, spreading the ball. It's not just coming from 1 or 2 particular players. For the Wildcats, it's all about Gaiman and all about Simmons.
It's been a fun first half. I can't wait to see what the second half has in store for us. ACU looking for a number 2 seed in the Southland Conference tournament next week. They need a win to do so. They lead by 4. The second half is next. Well, it's Staff Appreciation Night. And how about Vice President of Advancement, Jim Orr? A race to the finish.
Get out of here.
Yeah, he got it right at the buzzer. How about that? They are having fun here in Moody Coliseum tonight. And Abilene Christian is in front, 39-35 over SFA, the 2 top teams in the Southland Conference on ESPN+. Glad you're with us. Off we go with the second half. Zach Carlisle and Owen Simpson. It's been some kind of night so far. Harris goes in, and a very nice conversion from Gavin Kinsmill to start the half for the Lumberjacks.
It has been a long time since SFA was just 1 possession down in this game.
They haven't led since they led 7-6 in the first half. Reggie Miller, point guard for Abilene Christian. They look to get someone open. It was both teams living inside in the first half, and Peyton Ricks draws a foul on Rody Ware, and he will shoot 2 for Abilene Christian, and Ricks was nearly shut out in the first half except for a couple of free throws.
And the Lumberjacks have done a really good job at containing him outside the perimeter. He has a really deep range when it comes to shooting the 3 ball, but he's only been able to get a few off, none of those to fall. He's gonna have to make his impact elsewhere. So far, it's been the charity stripe.
And it's Ricks who hits on the first, the senior out of Wichita, Kansas, an 83% free throw shooter this year. Ranks 4th in the Southland Conference. You see it, just 3 points. He's missed all of his attempts from the field, and they all have come from the 3-point line. John Como with a take for the Lumberjacks, getting to the rack. Como's got 6 for SFA, and Colton Cole tried to rifle one to Arion Simmons. And Nathan Bain, who played in just 8 first half minutes with fouls, taps it out. Backdoor again, Corian Mason send it away. The Lumberjacks all over it inside. And now Ware converts to tie the game. Defense to offense for SFA.
And not a good shot there by Corian Mason underneath the basket. He's got to find another option.
The Lumberjacks contesting the passes, and that's a blocking foul on the Lumberjacks. Here's the transition bucket for Como.
And a good fast break. Good
Ware.
take. Yeah, good take inside there by Ware. Over the 7-footer. That's easier said than done.
Then the blocking foul on Rody Ware. Did not agree with that call of him blocking Peyton Ricks. Bodies were all over the place. They'll clean up the floor. Kyle Keller trying to take this team back to the NCAA tournament. They missed the Southland Conference tournament a year ago. Did not qualify and did not finish in the top 8 of the league. Ricks wanting his first 3, couldn't get it. But SFA going back as the number 1 seed this year. Trying to return to the NCAA tournament. Kinsmill, pass nearly picked. Harris rifles, extra pass for Como. Bain saves the ball somehow, and there are bodies and chairs all over the place. Looks like a scene out of the WWE. Colton Cole is fouled inside.
You got to give credit to Bain going for that ball as it headed out. The effort with Arion Simmons in front of him, and just great effort all around there for the Lumberjacks. And I think there's been a few spills on the side.
There is water all over the place, and they are trying to dry it up and clean it up. That is a literal spill into the bench for Bain, and just happened to be where the water was. He was hustling and somehow saved the ball in. Did Nathan Bain. These two teams are going to lay it all on the line tonight.
And SFA really has been peaking at the right time. This week, they received 48 votes in the latest AP poll. That puts them 28th overall in the nation. 2 wins this week just might put them in the top 25 rankings entering conference tournament play.
This place is hopping tonight, folks. There are a ton of folks in the seats. They were going for a sellout, and they came darn close at Moody Coliseum tonight. The #1 team in the Southland in town. Colton Cole for 2 free throws. We've done we've done a lot of Abilene Christian games this year, and we constantly say for a 7-footer being an over 70% free throw shooter, he's a good one at the line.
And that's such a key piece, especially with your size. You're going to be inside the paint. 90% of offensive possessions. It's a real big piece.
Well, and I just,
Yeah, we did jinx it.
Right on cue.
That's what happens.
We are as good at that as anybody. Here's Como and company, where he's been all over the place, and he hits a nice fadeaway. Good looking shot. SFA in front. Ware's got 6. Mason to Cole. Charge. Taken by Kinsmill.
Look at the kick outside. Corian Mason going in. Yep, good call.
Kinsmill got set. Takes it on Corian Mason, who's got 3 fouls with 3 points tonight. He had to leave the game, and Trey Lennox is guarding Ware. Screening action, trying to work it into Kinsmill. Miller had the ball stripped away. It's still loose. Como will shoot 2. Somehow that pinballed to John Como. He's got free throws coming after the foul on Colton Cole.
Both teams are fighting for the loose ball, but so far it's been the Lumberjacks coming out on top on those loose ball situations, and a big piece of why they're now ahead in the second half.
And John Como a chance to answer. Abilene Christian went on a run in the first half and led by as many as 10. And you give credit to SFA for not allowing it to stretch back out even further. They closed the gap to make it a 4-point game at halftime, and now they're in front by a pair. As Clay Gaiman returns to the ACU lineup. Como had back-to-back games with 12 points in each of them. He's got 7 tonight. A 2-point game that is expected to be close all the way to the wire, and Damian Daniels draws a foul defensively on Como. He'll leave the game with his 2nd personal foul. .15 to shoot for Abilene Christian. Arion Simmons, that's a charge. And again, it's Kinsmill taking it inside.
And the Lumberjacks are making them pay Every time they take it inside here in the second half, offensive foul after another.
David Cacklery's running point guard duties. Bain, big shot, Lumberjacks. The lead is 5 for SFA, its largest of the game. Gaiman, he is bumped and a ball out of bounds. This game has seen more loose basketballs than anything. Daniels nearly didn't get it in time. Here's Ricks. Daniels, rising, fire short. Got it back. Lennox to Gaiman. No. And again, the ball's loose. Now SFA has it strolling right back. And Ricks hits. Everyone working hard on the floor tonight. Cacklery's reverse. Tapped out to SFA. This game is wild in Abilene, Texas tonight. Bain with a big three. And the Jacks lead by 3. We got a great one in Abilene, Texas. SFA with a 3-point lead at the moment. The difference, the Nathan Bain three-pointers so far. And I tell you what, this game has been back and forth, punch for punch between both of these teams.
Yeah, Stephen F. Austin's really come out firing on all cylinders on offense. 12 points already here in the second half. The Wildcats need to find some answers.
Yeah, 12-5, second period for SFA. Kevon Harris off the inbound. Draws a foul. Daniels and Lennox were both there, and the foul's on Trey Lennox. And this will be free throws for Kevon Harris. In the process of shooting, and 2 foul shots coming.
Really surprised to see him at the free throw line. I'm not sure he was shooting or passing there.
Yeah, that was interesting. It was very close in the action of both things. I wonder if the officials thought that he was going to go up for the shot instead of make the pass. And this is a technical foul on Joe Golding of Abilene Christian. And so that will give SFA a chance to add to its lead. We saw technical fouls in game 1 of our doubleheader tonight in the women's game between these two teams. And now Joe Golding gets teed up for ACU. So now these are tech free throws for Harris.
And this is really something that Abilene Christian does not need. They haven't trailed much in the game, but Stephen F. Austin already starting to pull away early with this early lead.
So Harris hits both, and now he's got one more free throw from the previous foul to shoot as well. Golding not pleased with the officials here and gets teed up. So Harris has his last free throw, and I wonder if the technical foul came from him thinking that it was a pass instead of a shot, and he's wondered why Harris is at the free throw line.
I think that's exactly what it was, and at the end of the day, emotions are going to get the best of you, and it did right there.
SFA, its largest lead is 7. Hayden Howell's going to drive in. Gaiman's going to take a 3. And Abilene Christian, a rough start to the second half. Ware, big take inside, and the lead is 9 for the Lumberjacks.
All the momentum's on SFA. They need another stop here to keep it going.
The Wildcats searching for answers on this end of the floor. Ricks had it stripped mid-flight. And Rhodey Ware has been huge. 8 points, 3 rebounds, a couple of steals as well. Now Harris, a mismatch. And missed everything there. Solomon rifles it. Abilene Christian a chance to run. Daniels, how did that go in? That's a goaltend. How did that go in for Damian Daniels?
You got to understand, this guy's 5'7". He is by far one of the smallest players out on the court, and still muscles his way through for a score.
And now SFA talking to the officials here. I mean, Daniels, and a clear goaltend call that they got right. Look at this.
And I want to take a look one more time just to see the goal-attend, because I think what the coaching staff for Stephen Boston is talking about is if it was a Wildcat who tipped it up.
And so they're taking a look. The officials are talking to SFA head coach Kyle Keller. We'll get another look. So Daniels in transition tried to take a foul, and look at this as it's going in. You got hands coming up through the rim, Kevon Harris, and so the goaltend counts the basket, and Coach Keller wanting an explanation. You got a message from one of the officials as well.
Yeah, I think they were trying to figure out which player was down there, and it ended up being Clay Gaiman. I think they were talking about, okay, we need to take a look and see, was it Clay Gaiman who tipped the ball as well? Because if he tipped it as well, then no 2 points for Abilene Christian.
Right, it would go as an offensive goaltend. The officials are talking about it. Right now it's a 7-point game, and that's with the goaltend. So if it takes it off, then it would be a 53-44 game. And the officials are getting together to talk about it right now. I'm still trying to figure out how Daniels even got his body in positioning for that. And somehow it rolled in, and it was definitely going in.
Yes.
The hoop. So the officials are still talking about it to figure out if that basket counts or not, and I believe it does. Or does it? I really don't know. Are they calling it now? Coach Golding wondering if a timeout was called on the floor. And so I don't know if they were talking about a timeout called by a team, and if there was, it would have been the floating media timeout. Otherwise, if there wasn't a timeout called, then there shouldn't have been a long break in the action, and there is a whole lot of confusion going on in Moody Coliseum right now.
And Goldie has got to compose himself or he's going to be thrown out of this game.
And now the officials talking to both coaches. And so there was no timeout called, and now another stoppage. And now the Boo Birds are coming out. So it's SFA ball, we think.
Good night.
After all of that, that was a very confusing few seconds. That was goaltending is what we learned. 7-point game, Harris to the rack. Kevon Harris.
He's taking over in the second half, muscling his way through inside the paint. Another score.
Here's a lob. It's Cole. Catch and score. Abilene Christian trying to solve the riddle defensively, though. SFA's got it going inside. There's a foul. It's Kimsville going to the line. Back to Colton Cole inside.
And a good job responding to the score on the other end. Colton Cole dished inside. He's got the advantage with the height.
And to me, ACU needs more of that.
They really do. Peyton Ricks needs to really start firing shots. Whether it's Peyton Ricks or someone outside the perimeter for the Wildcats, they need to find some scores just beyond the paint.
And SFA has figured it out offensively. Except for free throws. They have not figured out free throws. Kimsville at the line. In a 7-point game. Abilene Christian trying to put some stops together, and they have yet to do so really here in the second half. 20 points in less than 7 minutes for the Lumberjacks. And the lead back to 8. And Charlie Daniels returns, the 6'9" junior from Jacksonville. Eight-point game. Mason had it kicked by Harris. 11 to shoot for Abilene Christian. I think they have to reset it to 20. And they will. Abilene Christian struggling on offense. Trying to get some open looks. Ricks, long two. No good, and a foul on SFA under the basket. And I think it's on Daniels, and it is.
And that's going to be his fourth foul, big foul on defense.
Well, Charlie Daniels just checked in, and back to the bench he goes with 4 fouls. This is a deep SFA team that has a lot of solid depth play off the bench. Ricks bounced it off his foot. Late shot clock again, it'll drop to 10. Corian Mason to the rack, no. Gaiman had to get out of the lane. Now the pass tapped away and a steal. Stephen F. Austin's really turned it up defensively.
The Wildcats are just struggling to find any kind of rhythm on offense. Props to SFA, 21-9 in the second half.
Abilene Christian 3 of 10 shooting in the second half. Kimsville somehow got it up and somehow got it back. It converts, and a lead is 10 for the Lumberjacks. Where do you go if you're ACU inside? There's where you go. It's Colton Cole. He'll have a free throw for an and one when we come back. This game has been a dogfight from the get-go. It's an 8-point game in the second half. So you got this SFA team that right now, according to bracketology with Joe Lenardi, projected number 13 seed in the East region, and they would play number 4 Michigan State into the Big Ten. Boy, the Big Ten's going to get a ton of teams in the NCAA tournament. And that game would be in Tampa. And again, that's as of right now. But as we know, in the Southland Conference, it's a one-bid league. They have to win the Southland Conference tournament.
And if this team, Stephen F. Austin, if they come and win out the rest of this week and going into tournament play, I really feel like they should be even a lower seed than that. 13 is not doing this team enough justice.
Yeah, this is a team that if you could ever make the case for 1 year for this to be more than a one-bid league, it would be this year with the way that SFA has played. But if they don't win in Katy, it's easier. I mean, it's going to be a challenge for them. There's a foul on Abilene Christian. Kinsmill's been working it in the paint, and that's a foul on Trey Lennox of ACU. And so, I mean, you could talk about SFA if they get to the conference tournament championship game and say maybe lose in overtime to an Abilene Christian or a Nichols or something, then maybe they would have an argument. But if they don't win a game in Katy, I mean, they're going to be NIT bound, and it's just how it goes at this mid-major level and here in the Southland Conference.
And it really is unfortunate if a team like Stephen F. Austin couldn't make it to the tournament as well as they've played down the stretch. I really feel like the NCAA tournament would be missing a team that really could go down and win a couple games.
Yeah, ask Duke how good SFA is. Number 1 Duke at the time, back in November the 26th, that it was Bain to hit that shot. The end of regulation. Daniels, loose ball. Ricks, corner 3, and Peyton Ricks has been eerily quiet tonight for ECU.
He is ice cold. Even when he's open, he's failed to connect. 1 for 7 tonight.
10-point game, and Abilene Christian 4 of 12 shooting in the half. Rise and fire from Cacklery's no good. This is the end of the floor where the Wildcats need some type of spark plug. They haven't found it. Cacklery's lays it in transition. Up ahead from Bain. And the Jacks are rolling right now.
It's a lot of turnovers for the Wildcats. They need to clean it up if they have a chance in this one.
A 27-11 second half. Another turnover. It's Harris and 1. A flex from Harris, and the lead has grown to a dozen. And a timeout is called by Abilene Christian. SFA on a roll, leading by 14.
This was so much more than our team or basketball.
Coming in as freshmen and sticking through the grind, sticking through the losses.
We knew we had a team that was a conference championship level team from the start.
All season, we just wanted to prove people wrong.
I was anxious to play because we knew we were so close.
You done to Jake Franklin. Franklin holds it down.
We felt the buzz in the city. They were with us.
I had never seen movies that fast.
Yes! He's got 18. Ricks to tie it. Good look. Yes! And it's in.
And he hit it. I was like, whoa.
The ACU fans going crazy.
We are the best three-point shooting team in the league. Let's go establish a new three-point shooting record.
They're going to break the record.
Show everybody in the conference that we can go and compete.
The Wildcats live to fight another day. Kick it out, Mabry 3, dagger, good! Wow!
We're gonna go win this championship game.
The Wildcats are gonna play for a title!
Whatever we have to do, we're winning this game.
Like, okay, let's go. Like, let's go to war.
Goes in with a one-hand slam! Wide open, corner 3, yes! Fourth quarter! They can feel it!
Take a look at the Southland Conference standings. So you've got SFA at the top. Abilene Christian's trying to get a 2 seed. The easiest way for them to do that is to win out. If they don't win out, though, they need a Nichols loss tomorrow night, and the Colonels have a big game tomorrow night against McNeese. And so for Abilene Christian, they need a little bit of help to get that number 2 spot.
They really do, and at the end of the day, coming into this game, it was let's win out, focus one game at a time. But given the situation they're in right now, they really need to turn it around if they want to have a chance to win out.
Harris at the line for an and one. It's a 7-0 SFA run. And they have exploded in the second half. SFA scored 35 in the first half, already 30 in the second. And it's been this problem for Abilene Christian. They continue to give it away offensively. The Lumberjack defense has turned it up a notch and then some.
And that was the Achilles heel for the Wildcats the last time they played SFA, was the turnovers. They did a good job in the first half at passing the ball and limiting miscues. But here in the second half, they're up to 6 turnovers already.
Yeah, 13 for the game. Feels like more than that, quite frankly, over these last few possessions for Abilene Christian. Into Hayden Howell. He's got it at the basket. Now ACU trying to get active defensively. SFA has been all over the place offensively. They've looked great. Here's Harris. Bain trying to get an offensive rebound, and it goes out to Abilene Christian. Harris with 20 points tonight for SFA. His 10th 20-point effort of the year. Miller, big shot. They needed that. Abilene Christian back within 10.
They're not going to go away easily. They're fighting their way back. Both of these teams on big winning streaks down the stretch.
Huge possession for both sides. Harris, you bet. What an answer. Kevon Harris, 23 points. Mason, no, but a late whistle and a foul on Harris. And Corian Mason will go to the line for 2.
And a good call there by the officials. But it has been a struggle for the Wildcats to take it inside, and they haven't shot the ball well outside the perimeter. And that's why Stephen F. Austin's really taken over here in the second half. And then a big response for Stephen F. Austin. Peyton Ricks caught on the screen and then wide open for Harris. He has been phenomenal.
Mason for 2. And it's Rody Ware and Calvin Solomon back into the game for the Jacks. Mason in foul trouble most of the night. 4 points, 3 fouls, 5 points. A big free throw, and Trey Lennox checks in, and Peyton Ricks will exit. Peyton Ricks playing in his final game in Moody Coliseum. The senior from Wichita. An 11-point game. Harris through defenders, and they're going to call a cylinder foul on ACU. And that was close. Let's take a look.
A good double team here by the Wildcats. Oh, I don't know about that.
That one I'm not sure about.
That was a clean elbow from Harris. And the fans not enjoying the call.
They're going to take a look. And so they're going to see if they need to add something to the cylinder foul on Abilene Christian.
And it didn't look great.
I don't know if I agree with that call.
Take a look one more time. The Wildcats put in a double team on Harris, and
Oh, there's no cylinder there.
No.
They weren't in the cylinder. That means you have to give them basically a radius around your body to maneuver. I didn't see any restriction from Harris being able to move around. I mean, he was able to extend both of his elbows, is what it appeared to me from my vantage point.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And the fans definitely not agreeing with the officiating on that call.
Yeah.
And that's a big call, too, because that puts Stephen F. Austin at the line for 2 shots. I mean, every point's going to matter, especially for the Wildcats trailing by double digits down into the final stretch.
Now, I'm not sure what they can add to this. The only thing you can maybe add is if an elbow from Harris hits somebody. I don't know that there's anything you can add from the Abilene Christian side. So that, to me, is the only thing they're looking at, is if there was an elbow from Kevon Harris. If that happens, who knows what will have to happen. It'll be free throws and then back to the more free throws. So a weird sequence, no doubt. We've had a lot of craziness in this game tonight. We'll get a word from the officials as they walk over and chat with us.
Removing the cylinder foul, offensive foul going this way.
And there you have it. There's the call. They're removing the cylinder foul and changing it to an offensive foul on Harris.
You know what? I applaud the officials for going in and changing that. This is going to be a foul on SFA instead of free throws for the Lumberjacks. Let's take a look one more time. This was called a cylinder foul on ACU.
No, yeah, I completely agree with the call right there, especially with the elbow that Harris took, or should I say dished out. But,
I agree.
A good review by the officials.
It's a good job to take the time to look at it. That's where, to me, the replay model is very much correct in what it should be. If you're going to go and make sure you get the call right on the floor, or go in and remove something and add something if you have to get the call right, and they did right there.
Right, that's exactly what the whole point of the replay was intended for, and it was right there. So a good change of call in favor of the Wildcats, but the right call.
Kyle Keller pleading his case that his hands were up. Now he's getting a chat with Harris and the officials.
And that's a big foul on Harris because that's personal foul number 4.
And so he's got to leave the game. So you're talking about a guy with 23 points on the bench for SFA. It's an 11-point game, and it stays that way as ACU takes over possession.
And the Wildcats have to strike on offense in the coming minutes while they have an advantage.
Now another bump and a foul. This will be free throws for Reggie Miller. A 1-and-1 coming as the foul is on John Como. It's his second of the night. So 1-and-1 for the junior point guard Reggie Miller out of Houston, Texas. The lone game on this Tuesday here in the Southland Conference. Miller's going to get another one. Abilene Christian at the line. 6 of 8 in the second half tonight. Second one, no. Howell with an offensive rebound. ACU a chance to cut it to single digits. Howell, mid-range. 8-point game.
Abilene Christian's right back in this game. Should be a fun 8 minutes.
Como controlling it. Solomon had a loose ball and a foul on Arion Simmons. Takes us to a break. We got an 8-point game in Abilene, Texas. What a finish this should be. Abilene Christian has made each of its last 3 shots. They're back within 8. This will be free throws for SFA out of this timeout. And boy, we've got a pretty entertaining final 7.5 minutes coming up. This is going to get close down the stretch. Abilene Christian clawing their way back in this thing.
And especially with Harris leading the way for Stephen F. Austin, 23 points, 6 of 11 shooting. He's been to the free throw line a lot, and he's been getting a lot of rebounds. He's on the bench with 4 fouls.
Solomon good on the first. He'll have one more coming. Both teams 9 team fouls, which means double bonus the rest of the way over the last 7.5 minutes. This was a 1-and-1 variety, the last 1-and-1 for SFA tonight. 9-point game, big possession for this ACU offense that scored just 21 points in the second half. Ricks in the corner, 1 of 7 shooting tonight. Mason, acrobatic. What a finish.
Look at the man taking it in by himself. 7-point game. And Moody's on his feet.
Mason scored 17 against SFA in January. He's got 7 tonight. 7-point game. Kinsmill, I thought, was going to pull the trigger. It's Ware. Tough shot. And Abilene Christian finishes it off with a rebound. Wildcats are very much alive in a 7-point game, and Reggie Miller will shoot 2.
And Reggie Miller bringing in some solid minutes for the Wildcats.
Here's the Mason.
And
crazy
Corian
layup.
Mason also stepping up when it matters the most, creating room when there is absolutely none. An acrobatic layup, and he is fired up.
He was. A big-time finish. Here is another junior college transfer in Reggie Miller. Seward County Community College. Miller tonight with 7 points. Over the last 2 games, or over the last 10 games, I should say, he was averaging only 2 points a game, but a big outing tonight from the ACU point guard. Short on the second free throw. A 6-point game.
Big possession here for the Lumberjacks.
Johnson with 10 to shoot. Just 5 seconds for Cackleries. It's Bain, he's gonna have to go. Hey, whoa! Got a flush. Oh, they're calling a shot clock violation first.
This is gonna be really close.
That was some kind of up and down by Bain. And they're gonna check to see if he got this off in time.
And I wasn't sure he was gonna get it off in time, but he sprinted with the ball.
Does he get
inside.
it off?
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did. What a jam, though, by the big man.
May need to look at that a little bit slower, but you're talking about a 6-point game. That's a huge basket or no basket. He catches it with less than 3. So does he get it off? Is his hand on the ball?
Nope.
His hand's still on the ball.
Nope. Wow.
His hand is still on the ball. See if we can get one more look at that. It appeared that he did not get it, and you'll look for the they're gonna wave it off. So you'll look to see if the red goes off. Yeah, he is. He's still holding on to that. And so it's a shot clock violation, and there is a bat flying around on the court here in Moody Coliseum. And so the officials, I think, are even a little confused as to what's going on there.
They woke up the bats in Moody Coliseum.
They've got the net here. If he flies down lower, they may try to catch him. Good look by our cameras. This thing's flying around. They caught him. They caught him.
Wow. How about
Quite
that?
the snag right there. That's the play of the night.
You can't ask for much more on Tuesday night.
Are we having fun? Tuesday night hoops. And how about that snag?
Get that out of here.
The bat. This is insane. Abilene Christian with the ball in a 6-point game. 5.5 to play. Pass deflected. Johnson fouled from behind by Corian Mason. It's his 4th foul of the game. Johnson was able to read the pass from Colton Cole.
And that's been the problem for the Wildcats here in the second half, is the bad passing, leading to a lot of fast break scores for the Lumberjacks. But yeah, a big foul there.
Yeah,
going towards Corian Mason. And he picks up his 4th.
Mason from behind. This is 2 free throws. No more 1-and-1 tonight. It's 2 the rest of the way. Johnson and Cameron Johnson. At the line. He's been there 5 times. He's made 2 of them. That's his points tonight. Four straight double-digit outings from Johnson. He's had issues in terms of scoring the ball tonight. But he puts SFA up 8. Gaiman thought about a 3. His pass is taken away. Bain down the floor. And Gaiman got a block. Batted back out in a steal. Both sides going and working incredibly hard. Miller decides to not take that 3. And each possession just feels of the utmost importance. Another loose ball. Miller's got it, and he may have called a timeout. I think he got the timeout called down in the corner. The 4:43 mark. Wow, what a crazy game. SFA with an 8-point advantage. And we'll take a look at what's coming up next. This is on Saturday. Both teams will wrap up their regular season. You've got SFA, the big one against Sam Houston State. And Abilene Christian, that will be huge for them at UIW, depending on the outcome of this game and then depending on the Nichols-McNeese game tomorrow night.
For Stephen F. Austin, they really want to continue riding high, heading into the tournament, peaking at the right time, which they've done so far. Meanwhile, for the Wildcats, that's the absolute last thing you want, is to lose 2 consecutive games. If they can't pull it out here, to lose 2 consecutive games, you head into postseason play.
Yeah, Abilene Christian won 4 consecutive games at the end of the regular season a year ago. Going into the tournament, got the number 2 seed and was able to clinch the Southland Conference Championship. That number 2 versus number 3 seed, so different. 3 seed will get you a first round bye, but a 2 seed, it means you don't have to play till Friday night in the semifinal round. Just 7 seconds on the shot clock for ACU. It's Mason for a big 3 that's offline. Where? A take? Does this count? Yes, it does. It's an and 1 to put the Jacks back up 10.
And right off the gate, Ware noticed there was no one guarding him at the top of the perimeter, and he decides to take it inside. Ricks and Simmons too late, and then Miller trying to get the block there, but another big bucket.
I mean, there was no one there defensively on that take by Ware. How about Rhodey Ware tonight? Double-figure points. No good on the free throw, and Nathan Bain was out of bounds, and he grabbed the offensive board. 10-point game, 4.5 to go. Abilene Christian trying to get it back to single digits again. They got as close as 6. Ricks has yet to hit a 3. Here's Tobias Cameron. Into Clay Gaiman. It is a charge.
And I think it was a good call there, taking it inside off the pass from Tobias Cameron.
Oh, yeah.
Just out of control there. Good job setting your feet.
It's Kinsmill doing it again defensively. He has been there for a lot of charges tonight. We've seen a million of them in the game. Kevon Harris back out on the floor for SFA with 4 fouls. 4:07 left. And now you'll see pressure from Abilene Christian. Gaiman trying to get a loose ball, and that goes off of Kinsmill out of bounds. Timeout on the floor. A 10-point game in Abilene, Texas, in the final game of the year in Abilene. SFA's defense, the story of this second half as they lead by 10. And they've done a number on Peyton Ricks, taking the ACU star basically out of the game to go along with holding ACU to just 24 points here in the second half.
And you can't expect to win a big game like this when your star player performs the way he has tonight. I mean, give props to the Lumberjacks for how they play defense. They've really kept the ball away from Ricks throughout the game, but when he's had the opportunity to score, he has just simply not delivered. 0 for 5 from beyond the arc, 1 for 7 overall. It's just been a tough night for Ricks.
A 10-point game. SFA outscoring ACU 38-24 in the second half, and that 3 no good. Tobias Cameron stripped of the ball, trying to draw a foul on a putback.
And there it is, yet another miss by Ricks.
Right, a good look. Ricks tonight 1 of 8 from the floor, 0 of 6 from the three-point line. A player who's made over 200 threes in his career. A brilliant career at Abilene Christian. Simmons lobs, Gaiman caught it. Oh, and he took a shot. Down hard goes Clay Gaiman. They might look at this. That's what they're going to do. They're going to go look at that to see if there's anything more. Boy, he took a wallop.
And a nice little pump fake to start, and then, oh, man.
It was Como in there and Kinsmill. But it looked like Kinsmill was the one who had the hand come in on him.
And they're going to take a look at this one just to make sure it wasn't Any reason for an intentional foul? I doubt it.
Coming up, there's the foul.
Oh,
my.
Yeah, that is a
Goodness.
brutal hit.
Wow. Took a shot.
I was most concerned by the way he fell after the contact.
He hit the deck hard as well.
I think that's a well-deserved 2 free throws right there.
The question is, will it be more than 2 free throws? And if it is, well, it won't come from game. Well, maybe it will, or maybe they'll put Ricks. If it's a flagrant, well, they'll put Ricks at the line.
And another thing to mention that SFA has done a really good job about in the second half is containing Clay Gaiman. He came in to the second half with 16 points. He still has 16 points. He's 0 for 2 in field goals in the second half. They have just really shut down the leading scorers for this Wildcat team tonight.
And it looked like that the officials had figured it out. Now they're going back to check again at the monitor. 3.5 minutes in a 10-point game. You could throw a flagrant 1 on there. Definitely not a flagrant 2. There's no question about that. There's no reason to throw him out of the game. We'll see. We're going to get a wording from our officiating crew.
Foul has been upgraded to an F1.
And there you have it.
Flagrant 1.
Flagrant 1. I think just because of the sheer contact and how it came down, I think it just looked a lot worse than just a common
and
foul.
how much the force was on that foul. And so it will be Gaiman. It will be Clay Gaiman to shoot a few free throws here. He's going to be shooting a few of them. So these are the flagrant 1 free throws. Ooh, you got to have free points if you get the chance. Abilene Christian 7 of 12 in the second half from the free throw line. Whew, that one rims home. So now this should be the inbound of the ball for ACU. After the foul was upgraded to a flagrant 1.
Wildcats really need a score here on this possession.
Ricks trying to drive in. Fade away, no. Gaiman got it back, and Bain bumps it out of bounds. 18 to shoot. And Abilene Christian has had to fight so hard to just get a shot off on this end of the floor.
It has been an absolute mob inside the paint, under the basket in the second half. Great defense from the Lumberjacks, crashing to the boards.
3:11 to go. A fresh 30 for ACU. Ricks, long 2, I believe. It's back to a 7-point game. Harris. It's where he's been incredible in this second half. Loose ball off of Arion Simmons out of bounds.
And 1 second left on the shot clock.
Right, and a timeout called by Kyle Keller of SFA. In a 7-point game, and ACU's gonna need Peyton Ricks. This was a big shot.
And you just start, and for a player like Ricks, if you get one shot falling, it usually becomes contagious for him. That's a big bucket for him. Good confidence booster down this stretch. 2.5 minutes is a lot of time left, especially if the Wildcats get a stop here. Avoid SFA getting to the free throw line and score on the opposite end. It's a new ball game.
Yeah, with 1 second, to me, if you're ACU, you can't foul here, and SFA will look for something. I mean, with 1 full second, they can catch and shoot the ball quickly off this inbound. They'll inbound it from under the basket. They may look for something right at the hoop as well. But Kyle Keller, here's a guy who's been there, done that. He's been an assistant under Bill Self at Kansas, under Eddie Sutton and Sean Sutton at Oklahoma State. He was a guy who was on a couple of Final Four teams at Kansas. What else is new? Jayhawks are a protected #1 seed again this year under Bill Self. 1 to shoot. Ware inbounds. Well, they look for some type of lob. It's Harris. Did he get it off in time? He did, but he airballed it, and it is a shot clock violation. No doubt this will be the biggest possession of the game for ACU, down 7 with 2.5 minutes to go.
Absolutely. Get a score here. Again, it's a new ball game. SFA needs to lock down on defense.
Ricks. You want it in his hands, and a charge. A charge on Peyton Ricks, taken by Rhodey Ware. Wow. A big call in that situation with 2:24 to go. Take a look.
And tried to create a little separation, driving inside. And I think he took a little bit of a hit too. Tough to call, tough to say on that angle.
Ricks a couple of games ago had blood in his mouth, basically. He took a shot a couple of outings ago against Sam Houston State last Wednesday. Here it is again. Not much extension, but he hit him hard enough to make Ware bounce backwards, which may have drawn the foul. 7-point game. 2:15 left. Buckle your seatbelts. What a game this has been tonight. Eight to shoot. Backside lob and a foul as they force Kinsmill out of bounds. And 2 free throws will be coming for the big 6'7" junior out of Suriname, the country in South America.
That's the last thing that Abilene Christian wanted to do, was commit a foul inside the paint, especially after Stephen F. Austin ran a lot of clock off the shot clock.
So 2 free throws, double bonus. First one no good. Let's take a look at them forcing Kinsmill out of bounds. Simmons guarding. Oh boy, man.
I don't know if they didn't give him enough room to land, then yes, that's a good call, but all hands up. That's one of those tough calls you have to make.
Not a lot there. Second one, no good. So it stays a 7-point game, but time's been running out for ACU. They need a basket.
Lumberjacks did a good job at least of running down the shot clock, taking 30 seconds off.
Cameron inside reverse. I don't know that he needed it to be a reverse. I thought he had a layup on the right side.
I think he was ready for the block to come around some defenders. But nonetheless, 2 more points. We got a ball game.
No doubt, 5-point effort. It's Como. And he'll shoot 2. Another foul call.
I want to see if he was underneath the line here. You can't tell. Oh, man.
Oh, boy. There's not much there. This is tough.
Despite the call, at the end of the day, Stephen F. Austin needs to take advantage of the free
no
throw line.
Kidding.
2 missed free throws has played a significant role in now a 5-point game.
And it's under 2 minutes so they can review it.
I think that's what they got to see is where were his feet.
Right.
So this will be a good angle right here. Take a look at this.
It's a good take from Como.
His feet weren't completely set.
No, they weren't. That was a better look at it than the previous angle.
Yeah.
That gave us a nice look, and that looks like a defensive foul that time. Good work by our crew. This ACU TV student-run crew done a fantastic job all season long. Our final ESPN telecast of the season. Had a lot of fun with football in the fall, and now the basketball season, of course, throughout the winter and into the spring. Done a great job all year. So my guess is they're sticking with it. More, I mean, to me it looked like he was moving. And then, also where the feet were, as you mentioned, Owen, and they're going to put Como at the line.
Back to the free throw line again. Big shots here for Stephen F. Austin.
John Como, the senior from Beaumont, Texas. 7 points tonight.
He's 3 for 4 at the line tonight.
A minute and a half. Another miss. The 8th miss of the half at the line for the Lumberjacks. They are 21 of 37 for the game. That one's no good. Insane. There's life for the ACU Wildcats.
Riggs is going to try to find space here.
A bounce. Howell. 3-point game. Timeout, Abilene Christian. Well, we're not done, are we?
How about this? Just when you thought it was over, Abilene Christian responds. Both of these teams have done it time and time again. This time, the Wildcats have the momentum on their side.
1:10 to play in a 3-point game. Boy, this has been a tale of 2 halves, but ACU down to the wire with a big basket here.
And I wasn't sure if Hayden Howell was going to get it off, but despite the defensive effort, gets it in anyway, and it's back to a 1-possession game.
I mean, you're talking about an Abilene Christian team that led by 10 points midway through the first half. Then you're talking about an SFA team that built up a 15-point lead halfway through the second half. And now all of a sudden back to a 3-point difference. Wow, some kind of game. They've been loud at Moody Coliseum from opening jump tonight. And now SFA trying to work through that and come down and have a good possession offensively.
I think key for Stephen F. Austin, they need to just get the ball inside the paint. That's what got them into their large advantage 15-point lead earlier that we saw in the second half. They were taking it inside, being patient, not forcing any shots. I think they need to take it inside again and get back to a 2-possession lead.
You got a Jacks team that is shooting 57% in the half. And 47% for the game. The turnovers have felt higher than they are at 16 and 13 apiece. They've turned into a lot of big-time points on both sides. 3-point game. Stephen F. Austin has taken 21 shots in the second half. 18 of them have been inside the 3-point line. A minute to go.
Lumberjacks need to run some clock here.
Back to Como. Under 10 to shoot, and it's Ware. Ware, long 2, no. The ball tapped out. Como has it in another 20 seconds for the Lumberjacks. And Reggie Miller is the one who fouls John Como, and Joe Golden, did not want him to do that. That was a bad decision by Reggie Miller.
Not a smart foul at all. And make one of these shots right here. It's a 2-possession game with no shot clock. It becomes a free throw match at this point.
Right, no shot clock now, and another miss. This is insane. Stephen F. Austin is 12 of 22 at the line in the second half. That's a make, and a big one for Ware to make it a 4-point game. Abilene Christian has to go quickly.
They need a 3-pointer here. They can't keep taking it inside.
Ricks to Cameron, a whistle. And was there a foul before that ball was loose? And that's a foul on Kevon Harris, who has fouled out of the game for SFA.
That is not what the Lumberjacks needed.
That was a bailout. I didn't see
much either.
I didn't see it, quite frankly. They tried to get it to Cameron, did Peyton Ricks, and it was not a good pass. Thought it was going to be a turnover.
And for the Wildcats, you make both these free throws. It's a 2-point game. You have a chance to give Stephen F. Austin a couple seconds, try and steal the ball, and then you got to commit a foul. But A huge foul here, and the Lumberjacks' top player is done.
Yeah, Harris leaves the game with 23 points on 6 out of 12 shooting from the floor. Free throws for Tobias Cameron, biggest free throws of the sophomore's career for Abilene Christian, out of Gold Coast, Australia. You can hear a pin drop here in Moody Coliseum. He'll have another. So then you go for the steal, and if you don't get it, you foul. And you put a Jacks team to the line that has not been good. There's Cameron hitting 2 big ones, and now ACU has to try to get a steal, and they will foul John Como. It's Cameron who picks up his second foul. Boy, how big were those free throws from Tobias Cameron.
And I'd say this is the best person you could foul in this game. Como 3 for 6 at the free throw line. You miss one, the Wildcats have a chance to tie it.
20 and a half seconds. It's Como to the line. He's 3 of 6 tonight. He's 4 of 7, a big make. And this one will be even bigger if he could get it to go.
That was the biggest one out of the way. Now for the second.
A second one goes as well. Boy, SFA has missed 18 free throws tonight. It's the reason that this is only a 4-point game. And another stoppage. And the Wildcats have to go quickly, down 4. It's Ricks. He'll pop a 3, and that misses everything. 8 seconds. Time running out. SFA with a foul here, and they are 3.9 away from getting their 14th consecutive win.
Big stop defensively for the Lumberjacks, forcing Ricks to a contested three-pointer, a shot that he typically can get to fall, but it has been a tough night for the senior.
Missed everything on that 3, and here's Como. Chance to add more to the line. A double-figure night for John Como. 4 in double figures for SFA. That free throw's no good. Boy, this was some night in Abilene, Texas. Stephen F. Austin survives on the road again, their 14th straight win. And a final score of 77-72 for Owen Simpson and our entire crew. The gang headed by Hutton Harrison, Glenn Lasoya, I'm Zach Carlisle, saying so long from Abilene, Texas. There's the final score. SFA by 5. This has been a presentation of Southland Conference basketball on ESPN+. All games airing on the ESPN networks or streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. It's been a fun year on ESPN. Until next time, so long. Take care. Good night, everybody.